and talk with you, and you can take the ship and you can go see God on the planet Earth where the ship came from. Or you can join the rest of the fleet and just map out and discover the rest of the galaxy too. Just a silly little game. But I want to put cameras aboard that put cameras aboard that ship that's buried, so that the people who find it will activate it, and you can make a nice little movie of their discovering this totally foreign technology to them, and make a movie showing how they learned everything that there is about that particular ship, and about how the new people will be coming from the planet Earth and discovering it, and just all sorts of crazy little scenarios like that. Oh, and the key find game. This one takes place after the 1,000 Years of Peace, and it involves many teams. One team or one person takes a key or some sort of object, and they hide it somewhere in the galaxy, and then it's up to the other team, based on the clues that are given, to go and find that key. And as they get closer to that key, to finding that key, the other team tries to prevent them. And then there can be this sort of competition from one team trying to beat the other team to finding the key, and the other team trying to prevent them. During the 1,000 Years of Peace, we will still have something that is like a gun, but it won't shoot bullets, and there won't be any explosions. There won't be anything that causes death or harm or destruction. So these projectile shooting devices will be shooting out this kind of paintball, and it's a paintball, one of two kinds of paintballs. One that will shut down any technology for a number of hours, so it'll take the energy out of it. So if someone is flying a spaceship or a flying craft, and they get hit, that particular ship, it gets taken down for a couple of hours. So they're out of the game for a couple of hours, but they can easily get back into it when everything gets powered up again. And in terms of when it's fired at people, when these paintball hits a regenerated person or even a natural person, it automatically puts them into the dream realm. So physically, they're out of the game for a number of hours, but they can still continue the game in the dream realm. So when these teams are looking for this key out there somewhere in space, these other teams can be firing these paintballs, trying to take them out of the game. So again, it's we can still have space dogfights and ships flying around trying to knock each other out of the game, but there won't be any death or destruction. That's one of the key things after the 1,000 Years of Peace, is God takes death and he puts it into hell, into the lake of fire. So death will not even be a concept after the 1,000 Years of Peace. So that's one of the other games. One of the galaxy games is trying to find the key. Again, and it's done just for the sheer sake of the thrill of chasing or trying to find or discovering where the key is, because wherever the key is hidden, it's going to be hidden on a planet or a solar system that is completely unknown. And so part of the game is to help map out the galaxy by discovering galaxies, or even galaxies from one galaxy to the other. This whole game can be played. But it will all take place in the Milky Way galaxy first, and once the Milky Way galaxy has all been mapped out, then we move on to the next galaxy and discover that. We can play games, or this fleet of ships can go discover and map out that particular galaxy. So there's going to be so much more to do during the 1,000 Years of Peace and afterwards. It's certainly not going to be boring. Once we've all discovered everything on the planet Earth during the 1,000 Years of Peace, we will also be discovering everything that we can, mapping out all the planets in our solar system. And then after the 1,000 Years of Peace, we'll be discovering everything we can with our galaxy. And once our galaxy is all discovered and mapped out, however long that takes, 10,000 years, 20,000 years, then we just move on to the next galaxy for the next 10, 20,000 years. And we'll see what the Lord has designed in that particular galaxy. Because all the galaxies, I believe, because God is so creative and ingenious, they will all have similarities, but they will all be different. Who knows, there could be another galaxy that has a completely different set of laws of nature than this particular galaxy. our galaxy has a kind of law of nature where everything is based on a circle. A drop of water becomes circular. When it falls on the ground, it becomes circular. Our galaxy is circular. Orbits are circular. Who knows? There could be another galaxy where everything is square shaped or hexagon shaped or triangular shaped or whatever. Again, God is so creative and ingenious. Not everything is going to be exactly the same, but everything will be brand new. There'll be so many brand new things to discover once we've mapped out our particular Earth during the 1,000 years of peace, and once we've mapped out our solar system, then we go to the galaxies. And finally, the last sort of game, which is a little more serious, because we will have all this technology during the 1,000 years of peace. We know at the end of the millennium, at the end of the 1,000 years of peace, Satan is going to be let loose for a season, for about 4 months or so. And when he's let loose, he's going to go to all the nations and find all the natural people, all the flesh and blood people, and find the ones that can be tempted. And then he'll make his final assault. He'll gather however many people there are, millions or maybe even billions of people who can be tempted. They will fall once again for his lies, and they will try to surround Jerusalem, and again they will try to destroy it. And I believe wherever they are on the planet, as they march towards Jerusalem, I believe they're going to be trying to destroy as much creation as possible, and they're going to be trying to kill as many people as possible. They'll be trying to kill as many flesh and blood people, not the regenerated, because the regenerated will be free from death. Will have bypassed that death. So the natural people that Satan tempts will only try to kill other natural people because he knows that the regenerated cannot be killed. So as they're trying to kill other people, it will be up to the regenerated and to their angel helpers to try and save them. So we'll be playing, well, for us it'll be kind of a game, but for them it'll be serious because it'll be life and death. So we can do the whole superhero thing by keeping as much of the stuff from being destroyed. I'm sure Satan will tempt these people to build explosive devices and to turn these projectile paintball shooting guns into something that can kill. Again, he'll be creating bullets and stuff like that. So it'll be up to us regenerated to come down in a superhero style event or series of events and help save the natural people from dying and from being killed, and saving the property from being destruction or being destroyed to as much destruction as Satan is tempting these people to do. So it'll be kind of a game at the end of the 1,000 years of peace, a kind of superhero game in which we're actually saving the lives of actual flesh and blood people who can be killed. So I believe that only the people that can be tempted will be tempted, and everybody else that will not fall for Satan's lies, all the flesh and blood people, they won't actually be killed, but they will still be put in harm's way, and it'll be up to us to help save them, to keep them from getting killed and stuff like that. So there's still going to be a number of events that are going to be game-like, and that's the only one that's going to be really serious, because again, like I said, the flesh and blood people will try to kill flesh and blood people, but it'll be up to us of the regenerated nature with our superhero-like powers to help save property damage and keep the people from being killed. And then after the 1,000 years of peace are done, after the last of the tempted people who can be tempted, they will be destroyed. God's fire is going to fall on them, and they will be done away with. And then there will be Judgment Day, when everybody in the history of mankind will be judged. Some will be separated from the rest of the universe, and the others will be included. And after the 1,000 years of peace, the flesh and blood people who still have a limited lifespan, they will get to taste and eat the fruit from the tree of life. So that from that point on, they will become immortal. They will never die. They will still have flesh and blood, and they won't have the same kind of regenerated bodies that we will, but they will still be able to live forever, as the Bible says. So it'll be at that point where they can get on the spaceships and go explore the galaxies and whatever else is out there. So then they'll be able to join in the galaxy games, some of the galaxy games and whatnot. And that's when the fun will continue, and that's when death will become a faded memory. Nobody will ever remember that there was such a thing as death, and that's after the 1,000 years of peace. And that's about it for now regarding some of the games that we'll be playing during the 1,000 years of peace and afterwards. So there's going to be all sorts of stuff to do besides the responsibilities and authorities. We'll have those live action games in Playground Town. We'll have thought games that we can play throughout the solar system, even throughout the galaxy and the planet, like a thought hide and seek. There'll be dream games that we'll be able to access the dream realm and play in there as well as the other galaxy games and celestial games and games that just require just the sheer enjoyment of life and the sheer enjoyment of creation that God has made. He's made this whole universe for us to play in. And it's just one of the blessings that God has given us for enduring and putting up with the things that we have to in this life before the 1,000 years of peace gets here. So like the Bible says, the mind cannot conceive the blessings that God has given us because of the fact that we have to put up with so much stuff down here. We have to put up with so much stress and so much of our sin nature. But eventually, once our sin nature is gone and we get our raptured, resurrected bodies, life is going to be worth living. Life will be fun and it'll be totally enjoyable because there'll be so much more to enjoy, so many more games and stuff to come. So that's it for now. I hope this sparked some of your imaginations, and maybe you can start developing and planning your own games that you can propose out there in the 1,000 years of peace and start praying about, so that everybody else can enjoy the games that you will create and the games that you're creating. So that's it for now. Have fun wherever you are in internet land and YouTube world, and we'll see you somewhere in the 1,000 years of peace. See you somewhere over there, if not up in the air after the rapture. Okay, have fun. Be a blessing to someone. Jesus is Lord. See ya. Bye.